Hey guys, Joe here, the Joe Madden Sports Podcast, joined this afternoon by Aliyah Funschelle, content creator in the sports betting sports industry. Aliyah, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. This is such a cool setup. So I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you as well. Now, you're all over social media, Aliyah. Can you tell us how you got started in this industry?
Yeah, I'm a little bit everywhere pretty much, but I started back honestly in high school is when I really started sports media because I ran an anonymous Twitter page that would cover all of my high school sports and no one knew it was me. And I was just
Oh, no
covering
way.
sports and tweeting about it. And then when I got to undergrad, I went to Wichita State and got into the newspaper there. And that's when our Wichita State basketball team was like the biggest thing in town. So it was following their Final Four run and everything. So thankfully, I got in on that and was able to build my audience. And then broke away from the newspaper as a junior in college, started my own brand called Sports with Aliyah. And then from there, just kind of just built my own page and name. And I had a talk show. I was interviewing people and just kind of building my social media presence. And then from there, I've gotten to work with like the Oklahoma City Thunder, FC Bayern Munich, like a bunch of teams and leagues and things like that. So now I just graduated from Columbia University with my master's. Been living in New York for the last year, and I currently work with NBA and WNBA Top Shot. And I still do just a bunch of reporting and sports content. Like TikTok is my big thing. So just kind of a little bit of everywhere and doing everything.
Okay, so I want to hear how you started that first account and why it was anonymous. But before we do that, can you tell everyone where to find you on social media?
Yeah, so on Twitter, it's Aliyah Fun, and then everywhere else like Instagram and TikTok, and yeah, that's pretty much what I use. But it's
Yeah.
Aliyah Funschelle. So if you just search up my name, the spelling is pretty unique, but you can kind of see it here on the screen. That's kind of where you can find me.
Absolutely. What a fun last name, too, Funchal. I think it's fantastic. Now,
Thank
Aliyah, so you
you.
started this Twitter account in high school, completely anonymous. Why did you go anonymous with it?
I don't know. So it's kind of crazy. I just like, you know what? And we'll probably talk about this, but like, no one really suspects a woman like a girl to tweet about stuff. And it was always big on Twitter, even in high school. And I just feel like being anonymous, you just get more respect, and it looked a little bit more professional. Like local journalists that would cover our school would tag our pages before my page before they would tag the principal or athletic director's page. So I'm just like, oh, this looks super professional. And I had no idea that I want to do that as a profession. This stuff existed. So doing that, and it was so funny because my parents and like my old brother would be talking at the dinner table, like, oh, I wonder who Mab Nation is. Like, who is this? It could be like one of your friends, and we wouldn't know. I ended up telling my family. They figured it out because they had the tweet notifications on, and I would only ever tweet when I would be like having downtime in my life. So I'd come home from
Yeah.
basketball practice and it'd be like, oh, Leah just got on her phone, and just so happens that the coming out the same time she's getting on her phone. So they figured it out, but no one else did until I graduated, and then I came clean and was like, surprise, it's me.
Wow, that is really cool. I love what you did with that. Now let's talk about females in this industry because we know it is primarily a male-dominated industry. How have you found yourself getting into it and what you've got out of that so far?
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite topics to talk about because I was starting out in sports media in undergrad. I actually had a very hard time. I was cheated out of so many opportunities that I rightfully should have. I was treated as, way less significant than my male counterparts. And I was 18 years old and I was like, I knew this could possibly happen, but I didn't expect it to be so soon. And I was a lot more naive than I am now. And also just, I didn't really have a voice for myself. Like, and I think going through something like that where I was kind of forced to stand up for myself and ultimately make the decision whether to stay with that company or break away, which I broke away. Um, like it was really hard. And so that's why I'm very passionate about talking about this. And it's not like that anywhere, is what I tell people. I've been in organizations and companies that have been the best at supporting women in sports, but it is hard to kind of separate yourself and break in initially, and then even when you're in facing backlash, whether it's you're doing something public like a podcast and it's internet trolls that want to, come for your throat, or it's even within the own organizations that have this setup where it's like the good old boys club and it's hard to move up and to succeed. So um yeah, that's what I've realized. Like, thankfully it's not bad everywhere, but you will find some hard things, and I think the best thing is just having, like, a good support system, whether that's family or friends or people in the
Mm.
industry, and, confiding in them, and honestly just finding your own confidence to speak up for yourself and to kind of, you know, be your own cheerleader to help you move up.
Yeah, I love the fact that you talk on having that confidence to really just say, you know what, no matter what they say, I can do this and I believe in myself. I find for myself the hardest comment I always get is I can sit here and talk sports for hours and I still get asked, who is the boyfriend, who's the husband behind you that's giving you all this information? What do you think the hardest comments that you get are?
Oh, for me, it's just like I get a lot like, "Oh, you only got this opportunity because you're a woman," or, like, the whole name 5 players thing. I don't know if you've probably heard that where people are like, "Oh, you like this team? Well, name
Oh,
5 players or name
yeah.
name this, name that." And I'm like, just getting quizzed, but, and a big one for me is because I'm very big on, like, TikTok. I'll post about sport management, which is what I studied in college, and, um, it got reposted on Barstool one time, and so many people were flooding the comments of like, "She's only studying this so she can get male attention," and I'm like, "Whoa, like, I have spent thousands of dollars for my tuition. I
Yeah.
don't think that's the goal I'm wanting out of this." So
So you're not out there just to do this to marry an athlete and live happily ever after, Aaliyah?
yeah, unfortunately not, but it does sound like an easy way to
Yeah.
go.
It is. It's really hard, sometimes as a female in this industry, but there are so many positives. There's so many amazing things we can take away. What is your favorite part of this industry?
Oh, there's just so many things. Like, from a sports perspective, I just love seeing the way sports can unite people or divide people, but,
Yep.
I just love the bigger, picture that sports plays in everyone's lives, whether that's in pop culture or even, like, with social issues, like, with real things happening in the world, the sports, like, world is always the first one to hop on it. They're always the first to help. They're always, like, ones to set the tone, so I just love how sports can really just be everywhere and for everyone. Then on the inside of the community, like I just love honestly like finding people like you or other people through social media that are like, oh, we met 5 minutes ago, but now I have your back. Like now I'm gonna support you throughout your career. So I love
Yeah.
like the kind of network that it brings. Like we all have the same understanding of we're all working hard and we're all kind of connected.
Yeah, I love it. Sports absolutely unite us, give us all something to stand behind and work together on. Aaliyah, what do you have going on right now? What do you want to promote about what you're doing?
Yeah, so I live in New York now, and I like I said, I love TikTok, and so thankfully that's actually brought a lot of opportunities. I get to go to a lot of fun events and kind of give a different perspective covering that. Like last week, I got to cover a premiere, or I was at like just different random events. So if you guys want to follow me on TikTok or Instagram, it's Aliyah Funschelle or Sports with Aliyah, and then gearing up to maybe be starting some podcasting with some sports industry advice for like the younger audiences. But yeah, just kind of a lot of things in the works or that I'm working on and getting to do. So I appreciate any and all support.
Well, Aaliyah, I can see your career just skyrocketing. I want to thank you so much for joining me here on the Joe Madden Sports podcast. Before you leave, is there one memorable moment, your yes moment, when you finally realized, like, I can do it in this industry?
Yes, I love that question actually, and it's so weird that like I've never been asked that question, so that's great. But something immediately popped into my head. Um, Back in 2016, right when I graduated high school, I was watching the Olympics, and we had a boxer from Wichita, Kansas, that he got third place at the Olympics. He got a bronze medal, and I was at all of his watch parties. I was his biggest fan, and then back in 2020, I had him on my talk show and I was interviewing him. And then afterwards, he told me, he's like, I've never opened up to someone that much while in an interview. And he's like, I'm a big fan of you. Like, And I'm like, "Wait a second, like, I was, like, a big fan of you." He had no clue who I was. I was going to his watch parties.
Yeah.
Um, and then he turns around and says that, like, he's confided in me for my show and is a fan of my work. So that was, like, a moment where I'm like, "Okay, I think I can do this." So that was a big thing for me.
I love that. That's an incredible yes moment. Well, Leah, I can't wait to hear the yes moments that happen over the next 10, 20 years for you.
Oh.
Congratulations on all of your success so far and future success in the industry.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys make sure you go give Aliyah a follow. Follow that TikTok. I'll be going to sign up for your TikTok as well, Aliyah. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Joe Madden Sports Podcast.
Thank you.